Andy, what's up?
What's up, Mr. Ancient?
It's all good, my
You
man.
good?
All good. I'm good. How's your side?
I am good too. Ish, it's been a good day. It's been a good day. A day off, finally. Day off.
Okay. Okay. Sounds like a
But
good
yeah,
one then.
yes, and I have my lady with me tonight, so it's a good one.
Woo! Okay, she must join the live. Hey, she must join. She must tell us what she thinks about this.
I'm gonna try because now she's studying. She's
Oh
studying
yeah,
at the moment.
I see. I see. That's fine.
Yes,
I think her opinions are welcome as well. It's
yes.
good. It's good. And
She's
anyway,
got me
when
cooking now. She's got me cooking.
okay,
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen now.
sounds good. The clone guy, how's it?
I'm good and you, Mr. Agent.
I'm well. I'm well. I'm well. Thanks, my man.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
I wasn't clearing my throat to be noticed. I actually forgot that I didn't switch off my mic
It's
there.
fine. At least you got noticed anyway.
Yeah. Sure.
No, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's get more people in. Let's wait for the others to come, and we can begin this. We can begin to address this mess and see how we can provide solutions. Let's see. Let's see. Where are they? Where are they?
Oh, this thing is tiny, ancient. I can't read this.
Just click on the board. Tap on the board. It will zoom on your side. Tap on it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't
Jesus. It's
know.
another mama's boy.
Oh, well, so it's same, but I don't think it is. If you read the story, then you will, it may make sense that he may be called a mama's boy, but I don't think he's really a mama's boy. He's now in a tight space, man. He's in a tight corner. He has to make a tough decision right now. He has to make a tough decision. It's another mama's boy. Yeah, indeed, another mama's boy. Dude is in a tough corner right now.
The wife is going to leave now. The wife must go. Hey, the audacity. The wife must
Yeah,
go.
the audacity. The
Slapping my
audacity
mom
is just on another level.
and threatening to do it again. Ah, that's crazy.
You see now. You see, so are we gonna call him a mama's boy if he takes the mother's side in this point, in this case?
He has to take the mother's side now. I'm
Wait,
usually
did,
against
did she
mama's boys, but now
did she say you two can go to hell?
Yeah.
that's what
Jesus.
I'm seeing.
Wait, babe.
No, but guys, it's
Gone
chai.
mad.
At that point, it's chai. You can
She's
go.
gone mad now.
No, she's gone mad. She's lost her plot. Because also this is not a situation you should be bringing up to my mom. Talk to me
And
about it.
another thing, if you have an issue with my mom, you come to me, not
Exactly.
confront yourself.
Exactly. You don't have the right to. You can't.
You don't even
I
lay
mean,
your hands on strangers. Now my mom. Nah, that's crazy.
Exactly. Because also, let's say if I am a mama's boy, how is it the fault of my mom if I choose to be that?
Exactly.
I want more ladies on the panel. It looks like we're all guys now. Let's hear what the ladies will say. Where are
It's a
they?
male
Where are they?
difference now.
Hi.
Oh
Hey Zach,
yes.
how are you?
All right, I'm good. How are you guys?
We are good. We are good. Are you able to see the board? Are you able to read it?
I was reading the board. That's why I have a opinion for this one.
All right. Let's hear.
Uh honestly, I think that the guy should just choose his wife, man.
Is it okay, guys? Let's keep tapping,
I
please. Let's
blame
keep tapping.
the,
Let's push
the,
it
the
up.
mother now.
Zach, why would you say that? That's not, that's a good point. That's a good angle, rather.
Because the thing is, right? You're like, bro, like you gotta have your own life as a man. I never really understood people who would leave their wives of 10 years just because their mom said you have to divorce. Like, bro, what the hell? Did you know sometimes your parents think what's best, they know what's best for you. But it's not all the time it's best for you, bro. You know
So,
what's best for you.
Zach, in this story, did you finish? Did you read the whole story? In this story,
I read the whole story. She slapped the mom and all of that.
so you're saying
And
that
said
he
the
should
husband
forsake
is
the
a
mother?
weakling.
Yeah, she should forsake the mother because you'd find out that the mother provoked her into slapping her.
Oh, okay.
Then it's a red
Ah,
flag
my
if you can't
guy,
keep your
please.
composure. It's a
In
red
a
flag now.
in a situation where because in this situation we would assume that these people are married, right? And then the assumption is that she would have gone to the mother's house to say whatever it is that she wanted to say. Obviously, in an argument, in a situation where you are telling me that my son is a weakling and I know my son is not a weakling, there's difference in opinion. And knowing how women are, things can go from like 0 to 100 in a minute. So yes, the mother might have replied in a way that is, I don't know, provoking the
Provoking,
wife,
yeah.
but to put your hands on my mother, in fact, the fact that you even went to initiate this conversation without me, because if you were desperate to talk to my mom for whatever
Red
reason,
flag.
okay, fine, then you can have the conversation with my mom, but please have me there. We don't need you addressing my mother. Don't address my mom. Call me and say, guys, I need
And
us to
question for you,
discuss
Zach,
something as
would
a
you
family.
prefer for the when your wife has a problem with your family, would it be better if she started with you? Wouldn't you prefer that?
Exactly, 100.
Wait, I didn't hear your question.
Would you prefer your wife to start with you before confronting your mother if she has a problem with your mother, rather than going to your mother directly?
So I'd prefer that she starts with me. But I think you
Exactly.
guys got it. I think you guys got it all wrong here because the setting here of this place was definitely in his house. So it looks like the mom was in the house because you could see you could tell from there. Look, when it starts as I walked in. Look, but 3 weeks ago, I walked in on them having a heated argument. As I walked in, I heard her saying, "Your son is a weakling. You too can go to hell." My mom said, "You slapped me." And then she replied, "I'd do it again." I never laid my hands on a woman and I wasn't about to start. My mom has left my house and said if I don't divorce her, I must never see her again and not step my foot at her funeral. So basically, you can tell that we have an idea here that the setting was
Even
at the
then,
marriage home.
Even though,
even in that setting, if we stay, okay, let me at least be honest about this. I think there should always be a boundary. If you are married to someone, I think there should be like specific reasons, consequences as to why you would live with your parent in the same house. It can only be a situation where she maybe doesn't have a place to stay, or whatever reason, but just for the funsies, or if there's no real reason as to why she's living with us in the first place, then that's wrong. But then in this situation, they are living together. Still in that situation, please, if you want to pursue a certain conversation, one that you as an adult know might turn out to be a sensitive conversation, please don't do it in my absence. don't do it if you feel like you want to address my mother about something, at least wait for me to be there, right? So that
The other
I,
thing is,
if my mother steps out of line, then I also have a responsibility to call my mother out and say, no, don't
the
talk
other
to my
thing
wife
is,
like this.
if I have, the other thing is, if it was the wheels turned around and I was having an altercation with the father now, she wouldn't like it if I beat up her father. If I laid the hands on
Exactly.
the father, she wouldn't like it.
No, the thing is, there's double standards to that.
What double standards now? No one should be hitting one's parent. So
It's
you're
it's
basically saying
it's
she has the right to beat the mother now just because she's the wife.
no, look, it's better for your wife to slap your mom than it is for you to beat her father.
What are you saying,
Wait,
bro?
can I come in there because you are talking
This
about
man,
fathers now,
this man is
and it's
condoning
going off
violence.
course.
I'm not
Uh,
condoning violence. What I'm just saying,
so so Bona,
it's a
can I just
natural.
throw in my opinion there in the woodwork, Mr. Zek? Sorry for cutting you off. Uh, I'm gonna have a two-part submission. So the first part is this: I think this man needs to grow balls. He needs to grow some massive balls very fast. You know that
Yeah, bro.
injection that those bodybuilders put to make it as if they have muscles. He needs that injection to grow some real big balls because I think this thing has been bubbling under the surface and it came into existence because like this incident happened because he hasn't been putting his foot down in the relationship because you know sometimes women they like to push your boundaries. They like to see how far they can push you, and if they can tell that you're a pushover, your relationship or your marriage will be hell for you as a man. So I think this man should grow some real balls and confront his woman. And one of the ways he can do this, it's by sending that woman away. I don't think this is grounds for a divorce. And like, let me say, I don't think he should divorce immediately without trying to remedy the situation. One of the things he can do is to send the wife away, or he himself and the kids should just leave the wife for like 2 or 3 weeks, giving her an ultimatum, wabon. Because you know sometimes you need to leave a person with their actions so that they can contemplate them seriously. And in certain instances, a person will only take you serious in your absence, wabon. They'll start to picture life without you and they'll realize how bad things will get if you leave the situation. He should tell her, oh, look, man, what you did is wrong. You crossed the boundary. And because you were married and this is a commitment, a big commitment, I'm not going to leave you immediately. But I want you to think about what you did. And I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to go away for a week or two. And I'm going to leave you alone in the house so that you can think and battle with your thoughts or whatever. Because this is something serious, man. And one of the reasons why I said this guy should grow some balls is that clearly the term when they called him a weakling is from the fact that the lady was always playing around with this guy and she noticed, all right, this guy is a weakling. I can do certain things. I can even disrespect him. Imagine your wife saying you can go to hell because he disrespected the mother and the husband. So he should put his foot down in this instance. And the thing about him giving the wife an ultimatum, it's not because the mother said he should leave her. The ultimatum should come from him, whereby it's like I can see that I'm with a person who's very disrespectful,
Hello?
and it's the disrespect is even gonna flow into the physical now, whereby she's physically being disrespectful. So this is not the type of woman you'd like to live under one roof under for the rest of your life. So it shouldn't be a matter of the divorce ultimatum is because the mom said so. No, it should be because of him as a man, who he can tell her, no, this thing is gonna get out of hand. If she can slap my mom, she can also slap me. And if I slap her back, bad things will happen. I might end up in jail. Wabon. And the second part of my submission is this. Hey, my gents, we should pick better, man. This thing of you as a gent, tolerating disrespectful behavior from your partner, from the relationship stage carrying over into the marriage stage, I think it should stop. Yes, your wife is your girlfriend is gorgeous, opakile, ya gripa or whatever, but those physical characteristics won't have as much of an impact on your life as her personality and her character. So, as magents, we should pick better. We shouldn't just base our choice in partners on the physical. Although the physical is important, but it shouldn't be that high up on the ladder whereby you are willing to overlook disrespect for the sake that she's beautiful, or even thinking that she's gonna change. Wabona, if she doesn't change, and like the first red flag, you must leave. I advocate for that as a guy because we hear stories of men unaliving their women. And although I don't condone the unaliving of women, but we don't know how that man was pushed to that point. Wabon, you can be a guy and then one day, fella, on a bad day, you had a bad day at the work, or you just lost your job, or something happened, and then you come home to that disrespectful wife of yours, and she's yipping down your neck, and she's provoking you, and then you just lose it. So, hence I say, as a man, you should be very, very strict. And as men, we should shame you if you pick a bad partner. You tolerating
You see,
disrespect just because she has
sorry,
a fat
Clone, but
nyash.
like,
So
sorry, my
that's my
guy, but
submission there. That's my submission.
I feel like, I feel like that's where I draw the line then, because we can't be excusing people's actions by pointing out people's behaviors, right? Because also it goes to a situation of why are you not able? Because I agree with what you're saying, pick better, look at the person you want to commit to, but at the same time, why are you also not able to control or regulate your emotions? Because it's not a matter of people go from a 0 to 100 in a minute. If you see that the situation is getting you to a point of losing your mind, you have choices to make. Get out the door, for an example. So I don't know if we wanna excuse people's behavior or reactions by saying no, I was provoked or whatever, all of those
Nah, my
things.
guy, I'm not excusing people's behavior. I'm just being realistic. I'm being
Why is it
realistic
not
in terms
realistic?
of the fact that
Why is it not
certain
realistic? Why is it
people,
not realistic that a guy? Why is it not realistic that a man is able to assess a situation and then just leave? Why can't it
yeah,
be realistic that you don't
the
wait until
the
the
thing that
point
you're
of
saying,
when you
ne,
blow off?
Bona, Mr. Tao, the thing that you're saying, I agree with it 100%. But we live in the real world, and that solution that you're talking about does not negate the fact that some people can be pushed to the limit, and then you always hear the story of how they said that guy was such a nice guy, and even the family are saying that guy was such a great person, he was such a calm person. We don't know what happened. Wabon. So imagine somebody who has seen you grow. They know you inside and out, but they can still not explain the violent thing that you did. It just goes to show her, as humans, we are flawed. And then our flaws, we should make ways to mitigate these flaws by controlling the environment we are in. Because, like I said,
there's
it
certain
can be
things
on
that
the wrong day, my guy. Understand my
there's,
point?
there are
It
certain
can
things
just
that
be
we
on
should
that
not
wrong day
there are
whereby
certain things
you
that
just
we
had
just
enough.
should not accept. There are certain things that we just should not accept, because now you're saying if the guy was known to be a nice person in the neighborhood or in the family is found to have raped someone, then the
I'm not
question is
talking about
how?
graping, man. Don't take it there.
No, I thought you
Don't take
no,
it there.
sorry. I thought you said that.
I said unaliving. I said
Oh,
unaliving. I
sorry.
was very
I misunderstood
specific.
you then. Sorry. But still, let's take people's consequences as their actions. Let's not try and make excuses for their actions by pointing out
No, man.
where they are
It's not an
passing on from.
excuse, my guy. You are misunderstanding me again. It is not an excuse. It is a simple way of mitigating certain things from happening. Wabon, it's a matter of preventing certain things because we know, or as humans, we are not perfect. You can be caught on the wrong day and something happens. And I'm not condoning violence. No, I am not. I condemn violence. I believe that as a man, you should be able to regulate your emotions. But at the same time, I know, Hore, as a human being, you can just be pushed to the limit. And then the fact that you're being pushed to the limit and you react in the wrong way does not make it right. But it is a reason why you did that. Although it is a wrong reason, but it's still a reason. So, as a man, you should, for your sake and your partner's sake and your future's sake, you should be very particular about the type of woman that you have in your life and that you choose to make a long time commitment towards. Don't date a strat mate and then you know who this girl is so disrespectful to you and you're thinking that she's gonna change, maybe because you married her or whatever. Because even women make that same mistake. You will find that a woman who was unalived by their partner, the friends or the family will tell you that this person used to be abused throughout the relationship, but as soon as she got married, she was telling the friends and family that now he's gonna change because we are married. So he's gonna stop this bad behavior of beating me up, or he's gonna stop this bad behavior of cheating on me. The fact that you are married to that person doesn't change anything. And not even time can change that person. It is only they who can change themselves. So it is in your own best interest as a man, because we have much more to lose in this world and time that we're living in, that it is in your best interest to pick the best partner, my guy. Don't tolerate bad behavior. Don't. Love yourself. Don't just because you're gripa, you are going to begeleza or whatever. Don't do that. O tla lemala.
Yeah, I hear you, guy. Okay. She's away. She left. She left.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Can anyone hear me? Haibo. Guys,
Hey, Mr. Ancient, yeah, we can hear you, my guy. We
I'm
can
wondering
hear
what's
you.
going on. Why is everyone quiet now?
I don't know. I was just telling the guys, Jorge, I think this guy, he should just give the wife an ultimatum to apologize to the mother and make a commitment to fix things with the mother and to prove that he's serious with the ultimatum. Uh, he should take the kids and leave the wife at home for like a week or two so that she can think about what she did. And then, yeah, that was my submission earlier on there.
Okay, all right. But you see, the child is probably still young. They said they only have one child, and also their marriage is about 3 years old. So the child will be still young. That will be dependent on the mother. If you take the child away, that may even bring another fight between you and the wife now. But then I think I agree with you to say, yeah, I think I agree with you to say that he needs to maybe put his foot on the ground or have some
Yeah,
sort of
I
ultimatum.
agree.
But
You know how oftentimes women hate the like being ignored or getting the silent treatment, Wabon. So I think in this instance it would be the best thing to fix this thing because although one can say, Hore, these are grounds for a divorce, but I'm not a person who like if it was a relationship and she slapped the mother, then obviously the relationship has to end there and then. But this is a marriage. Things are more serious here. This is a real commitment between two people whereby they involved God. So I don't think they should just throw in the towel immediately like that. I think at least he should try something just to save the situation and salvage whatever is left of the situation.
if you're talking about, I hear you. If you're talking about silent treatment, the wife has already been giving him silent treatment. So I don't think it's an effective thing. You can see he said my wife has been quiet. Before he said we have a child together. Now, and also,
No,
do you really
no, no,
think?
no, 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 no. Yes, the man and the wife are both quiet towards each other, but they still live in the same house. If he leaves, then she will start to see, oh no, things are serious now. Things are serious. I need to pull up my socks.
Okay. But do you think that as bad as things have gotten now, do you think that the mother will ever forgive this one? Do you think the mother will ever reconsider her stance? Or the mother can say it's fine, you guys can continue marriage, but count me out of whatever you're doing with your lives. Do you really think? Because and now the guy has to pick between his mother and his wife.
No, my brother, even the Bible says a man shall leave the mother and the father and become one with the wife. So, hence I said she must go and apologize to the mother and make a conscious and deliberate effort to mend things with the mother, or else things are being cut off. We go and speak to divorce lawyers. Wabon, the most important thing that should be done here is that the wife should apologize to the mother. That is the most important part. The mother can choose to forgive or not forgive, but as long as the wife humbles herself before the mother and admits her wrong and tries her best to fix the relationship between the mother, that is what is needed from the wife. If the mother doesn't forgive, it's fine.
Hmm. Yeah, nah. Yo, Tato.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm
I'm
okay,
learning a
and
lot
you?
from the clone guy now. What's up? Did you see the board?
No, I'm still reading.
Oh, okay. Please read
Okay,
and come
while
share.
is
Okay.
reading, Mr. Ancient, let me ask you a question. Do you think there were early signs, red flags, that in the relationship before it became a marriage, the man could have seen, Hore, this one can or has the capacity to be a problem in the future?
Definitely, if he was observant, he should have seen those signs. But I think he ignored it because the signs, the lady would probably have masked those signs under the argument that, oh, well, now you're a mommy's boy. So it's that thing of, ah, well, maybe she's just jealous that I'm close to my mother. Maybe because if you read it, he said that she always wanted to keep me away from my mom. So it's maybe that thing of, "Ah, you're not supposed to go see your mom today, or don't do this." So it could be that thing, even if he saw the signs, but he would just think she's allaying her fears through those signs of me being close to my mother, and it's something I can manage, so it's fine. And maybe not in terms of being violent. I'm not sure if he had. I'm not sure if she was violent to the mother at any point, but if maybe she was violent to someone else, who maybe he doesn't even respect, that would be him assuming, okay, maybe she's just a tough one, right? But I do not think that, well, some guys would, but I do not think that he would have seen any form of disrespect directed at his mother or any of his family members, and he will still want to proceed with the relationship without any sense of repentance. That would absolutely be wrong on his part as well. So yeah.
Wait, I'm reading and I'm seeing, do the mom and the son and the wife all live together? Because
No,
how.
she was there for a weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. For me, ne, I really ever feel sorry for guys like this who find themselves in this situation. I really ever feel sorry for them. I know that they had a chance in the past to see the red flags and leave the woman, but they chose to stay. Because personally, I am not one to tolerate such things. I am very quick to leave my guy. I will leave in a heartbeat. Wabona, disrespect. Because let me just put it like this, ne? For a woman, ne, there is a reason why God said, wives, honor your husbands. And then he said, husbands, love your wives. Because to us as men, love is like respect is like a love language. If we don't if we don't feel respected, it's the equivalent to us not being loved. So there's a reason why God told husbands to love their wives, but he never told the wives to love the husband, but instead he told them to respect them. So when such things happen and I see these behavioral patterns, even from a distance, I leave, my guy. I don't even bother. I don't even bother because I'm trying to prevent such things from happening. And prevention is always better than cure.
Hmm. It's hard to. It seems like you're done reading.
Yes, I'm done reading.
Do you think the guy was wrong, or is wrong to even be confused?
Wrong. He's valid to be confused because this is his wife that he loves, and I assume he thought that this was a good person, and now she slapped her mom, his mom. So now I can think that would make somebody confused. Like, okay, there's a gap between what he understands his wife to be and what she actually is.
Okay, so what do you think about the whole story? Tara's girl, how are you? What do you think about the whole? What would you advise him to do?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to sit with this because it takes time for me to come up with ideas when this is actually like a very delicate situation. I think it's wrong that one thing I'll say for certain, the wife, no matter what the mom was saying or the mom was doing, I don't think you should be slapping people. That's definitely I can say for certain that she was wrong for that.
Okay, she was wrong for slapping, but don't you think she's standing up for her husband? Because I think she has this impression that the boy is a mommy's boy, and she's trying to stand up for him. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, that's the thing also. Because if he's too dependent on his mom, she was right to have that kind of boundary if he actually is a mama's boy. But the thing is, hey, slapping is a no-go. Even if I don't know what the mom was, maybe the mom is moving evil, but slapping is actually assault. It's not it's a crime. So I don't think, yeah.
Tato, let me ask you a quick question. Who do you think wears the pants in that relationship based on what you've read? Just strictly based on the story. Who do you think
Uh
wears the pants in that relationship?
Please elaborate what you mean by pants.
Who is the leader in the relationship?
Leader. Uh I guess based on what I've read, I would have to say the wife because she's. But it's hard to say because we're only getting this part of their relationship. We don't know
Yeah, I
the whole
understand, but
situation.
just based on the story. But would you say, based on what you've read, I agree, that's all we have. Would you say that chances are that he often gets emasculated in the relationship and made to feel like less of a man?
I don't know if he gets to feel emasculated, but she clearly does have a say in the relationship. Yes, a strong say.
No, but my guy, she just said, if you read closely there, when she was talking to the mom, she said, "You and your son can go to hell."
Mhm, she did
I'm
say
not
that.
sure if you caught that part. She said, "You and your son can go to hell." I don't know what the son had to do with the argument and why he caught
Yeah,
strays.
that's the thing is when you walk in on an argument, you don't have context, and also the emotions. When he walked in, the emotions already elevated. We don't know what happened before, so we don't know. Like that does sound like a crazy statement, but without, if we had context, maybe it would make more sense. I think they do need to sit and talk about it together.
Okay,
That's
which context would make such a statement make sense that your son can go to hell and you just walked into the room? You're like, oh, what did I do now? Why must I go to hell?
mm, I don't know. I think if the because if he's described as a if he's self-diagnosed as a mama's boy, I'm assuming the relationship is like unnecessarily close. Like they're doing things that you think even a couple should be doing. So when they say you and your son can go to hell, maybe it's the behavior of being like too close and not having this distance because they're mother and son, not dating or anything. So they shouldn't be like to the point where it's hindering the relationship.
Okay, let's hear what Tassos has to say. Tassos, what's up with you? How are you, by the way? Oh, yeah, it's Taros, ne? It's Taros. How are you?
I think it's Taurus, like the
Is
star
that
sign.
Taurus? Oh,
The
Taurus,
star
how are
sign.
you?
Hello, Taurus. Go.
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
We're good. We're good. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I guess you've been listening, and so you've also read the board.
Yeah, I've read in a bit, and I've like listened from the other guy give an explanation, and I'm just trying to make sense out of everything because the situation is more like it's a one-sided kind of explanation. We really don't know what happened behind or the other side, so it's really not easy to make a judgment. Because we might say, nay, the wife was overboard, nay, the guy seems to be a mama's boy, but we really don't know. It's either way, it's either they're both toxic and cannot control it.
Taurus, would you slap your mother-in-law?
I wouldn't, because my mother-in-law is just like my mother, so I wouldn't do that.
Mm,
You mean no matter
okay.
how provoked you are?
Yeah, no matter how provoked I am, I wouldn't slap an elderly person. Yet again, it depends with how somebody was raised, and it depends in which era you were born. So if you look at the two pins like we call them in Zambia, it's yeah, that one the mother can be slapped. But I'm a 90s, so it's a different way we were raised. We ought to respect our elders, despite them being evil and the likes. You know, we say fools grow old at 40. So despite somebody being foolish, you just need to respect them.
Not gonna lie, if I was the guy, I would have to divorce my wife because there's no way somebody's slapping my mom under any conditions. And I'll do it again. She doesn't even feel remorse or guilt for her actions.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you are right to do that. Because why should somebody disrespect your parent in such a way?
yeah. This is a classic case of what happens when you become emasculated as a man. It even boils on to your, it passes on to your family. Wow, the disrespect that you get from your wife because you are being emasculated, even your family now gets disrespected because of you. This is what happens when you don't wear the pants in the relationship. Because in my own opinion, the wife clearly is the one who wears the pants in the relationship. Because if she can say you and your son can go to hell, like she clearly doesn't respect the husband as well. She clearly does not respect the husband as well. The husband is like a Mickey Mouse in her eyes. He's like a pickaninny, for a lack of a better term. So I I don't feel sorry for this guy, man. I don't feel sorry for him. You make your bed, you lie in it, you pick your partner, and the partner can come with a fat nyash, but they can also come with disrespect, and you are going to have to bear the burden of that disrespect for the uh, period of your relationship. So I don't feel sorry for this guy, Shem. He deserves it.
What do you mean he deserves it? Because what did what he didn't get slapped? His mom got slapped. So you're saying the mom deserves it, or what?
No, that the disrespect, the situation that he finds himself in, he deserves to be in that situation because he had the choice of so many women to pick from, but he just had to choose a bullfighter. He had to choose a bullfighter with horns and Batista. He basically chose Batista as a wife. So this is what you get when you marry a Batista and you make that Batista your wife, or the Brock Lesnar your wife. That Brock Lesnar now starts putting hands on your family, and you have to be a witness to those hands. So that's what you get.
I don't think the mother deserves that. But either way, I think you're making a lot of assumptions. Like, how do we know he had a lot of options, or he what is it? He actively chose her, knowing she was like this. This could all be new to him. She could have presented herself as somebody stable, and then this happened, and now he's confused.
No, if you read carefully there, he actually says that the relationship between the mother and the wife has never been good, number one. And he tried to fix it. Number two, the wife was calling him a mama's boy. Nobody who, like a wife who respects you, my guy, won't call you a mama's boy. Like a wife who loves and respects you, she'd rather keep that opinion to herself. She won't call
Really?
you a mama's boy repeatedly because that is disrespectful. Name calling is disrespectful, and a wife who loves you and respects you will not name call you and belittle you like that to the point of calling you a mama's boy. Clearly, she doesn't respect you.
I
Wabona.
don't
Number
think.
three,
Okay.
number three. Let me put the number three. She said the husband can go to hell. Imagine your wife the woman that you love and marry, that you are willing to put your life down for, and she says you can go to hell. Imagine.
I want to highlight what Kay is talking about because as much as she was crazy to slap the mom, a mama's boy marrying somebody who's overly dependent on their parents and actively being a witness to that will is a lot. That is a lot. When you marry or date somebody, you expect that they'll, of course, the parents they have a good relationship with their parents, but not a dependency on them. So you'd expect there'd be some distance. But when you see that she has to constantly deal with the mother's opinion on the relationship, always being involved in the relationship, it's like you have to date you're not only marrying your husband, but you're marrying your husband and his mother, and that's too much. Like dealing for that for 3 years, I'm sure that's what escalated her anger. Her frustration only grew, and she ended up doing something that's wrong, but that was caused by or incited by the fact that this guy clearly has no, like, he has a distorted relationship with his mother. And I don't know if you advocate mama's boys, somebody who's just gonna let their mother run their life, but I,
Taurus, now, can I ask you a question there?
Yeah, sure you can.
Okay. Uh, am I being far-fetched in my thinking, ne, to say that there are some women who, because they are very conniving and then they are very crooked in their ways, if they notice somebody in your family who can see them for who they are, they will try to separate you from that person. Am I far-fetched in my thinking?
No, you're not. Actually, in as much as women love to be victims, women are big manipulators and narcissists. So there are women that are just so strategic and they know how to position certain people in our lives. So if a woman can spot somebody that can see through their actions and their attitudes, they'll try by all means to ruin what that man, the relationship that that man has with that person. So in this case, you might call this man a mama's boy, but his mother can see right through the wife. Maybe that is the reason why, in the first place, they don't get along. So women sometimes play victims, but they're not victims. Some women are bullies. Some women are selfish, and they would just want that person to themselves, forgetting that this person comes from a family. The African setup, you have a home where you come from. In Zambia, in Zambia, in our setup, let me try to use my native language to say, ukakwatiliwa ukwatiliwa kumozi na banja, meaning once you get married, you even marry the family. So it's not a one man's show, it's everyone on board. So you cannot run independently, minus maybe the parents or your parents having a say.
yeah, I don't think that's okay for. I don't. I do think it is a joining of two families, and of course, people are gonna have to get along. But at the end of the day, the marriage and the relationship is between these two people, so they should be sorting out their problems between each other. I think the problem is, like, in what can really dissolve a marriage is when they start involving friends and they start involving family, other people who don't have to go through the daily, and they only hear, like, also the only negative parts, because people don't come to say, oh, my wife is amazing, my husband. They will say, oh, my wife did this, my husband, and then they only hear negative parts. So I think they should really try to, like, situations where, like this, it was never ever supposed to involve the mother. The mother's supposed to be with her husband or her boyfriend, or just be how she wants to live her life, maybe by herself, not trying to insert herself constantly in the son's affairs, because it's not like she's involving her mother in this. It's only his mother that's being involved in this. So this is not even fair situation.
Yeah, I get your point, and I get where you're coming from. And it's actually true, it's right. It's not right to involve everybody in your relationship. Yeah, and it really brings problems and misunderstandings, which might lead to a divorce if you're married. Eh, so I think the mother has to stay back. If the mother is too involved in the relationship, too controlling, it becomes a chaos. It's toxic for everyone. So if the man can be man enough and maybe tell the mother to chill out, just be at that distance. When it gets too hot, maybe I can call for your help. But as for now, you need to be in that corner, be in your space, and let me have you know, some time with my family, my wife, and the likes. Then maybe it can work out. So we actually really don't know anyway. So it's everybody has an idea, everybody has this picture, but only the two of them really feel the heat, really feel how
Okay,
the shoe
Towers,
fits.
since you're a woman, I'm gonna ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
Because she slept the mother, ne? What
Mm-hmm.
will happen one day when she slaps the husband? What will happen?
Hey, so if maybe if what will happen one day if she slaps the husband? Probably the man will fight back, unless if he's a gentleman. If he's a gentleman, I'm sure he's gonna walk out, maybe cool off, then come back. They talk about the issue, but people don't need to get physical. You don't need to get physical, no matter how somebody has provoked you, especially when it involves one's parent. Like, where would you get the audacity to slap my mother? And then what next? So even you as a husband, yes, maybe your mother might be too controlling, and your wife gets to slap her. Are you going to get comfortable? Are you going to cheer up your wife to say yeah, or what? Because that's why questions come in. So if you can slap my mother whilst I'm here, what happens when I'm not there? To what extreme, to what extent can you go to? So it's a lot of things.
Yeah, I feel like they need to talk. I think that's what either all three of them need to have a sit down. They need to go to family counseling or group therapy. But here, there needs to be a conversation, because this, I don't know, this son, even though he understands this beef between his mother and his wife, he can't understand like why they don't get along. So clearly, either he's ignoring his wife's, like, because mama's boy, there's no way that's the full like explanation. There would have to be more like the mother's controlling or something, or we're gonna need more context on what does he mean by mama's boy, and how was the relationship between the mom and the wife, because all we're seeing is a result of 3 years of like beef. We don't know what led to that beef, who said what, who started what, or who. So I think here there just needs to go to group therapy, all three of them, before he makes any rash decisions.
Yeah, I think they need to trace back everything from where it started from, and it's actually important when you want to settle down to check one's family background. What happened? Is the father present? If the father is present, how is the relationship with the wife? If the wife is alive, and if they're separated, what, you know, are they in good books? Are they co-parenting well? And the likes. From there, you can pick to say, okay, the reason why my partner is behaving in such a way, probably what happened in the past has attributed to this. So if people cannot acknowledge
That's why I say your family background is equally important, because it helps you deal with a lot of problems in life. So some people would respond based on trauma and not really fully understanding who they are, but because something happened and it has just triggered everything.
Or what if the wife is the one who's very controlling? What if the wife is the one who is manipulative, and the mother could see through it? And now, because the mother could see that this is a manipulative wife, uh, she was not happy with that aspect of the wife's character, and that is the reason why the wife wanted to separate the the husband from the mother, because as soon as you start to separate me, or attempt to separate me from the woman who brought me into this world, and on top of that you are trying to shame me by calling me a mama's boy, that is a red flag to me. That is a huge red flag to me, because oftentimes, and even men do this, if a man can see that, for example, your friends have noticed something about him, and he's trying for you not to see that bad side of him, he will try to isolate you from those friends. So this thing happens with both genders. This thing is a trait of people who are manipulative. It is a trait of people who are narcissists. It is a trait of people who are abusive and psychopathic. They will try to isolate you from people who can see through their lies and their disguise, to the point whereby they will even, for example, if a guy is abusive or whatever, or he has a bad character behind closed doors that you haven't, that you are yet to see, but your friends can see it, he will tell you that you rely too much on your friends, and then your friends are making decisions for you, and then those friends are bad friends because they're trying to control you. So this thing of being manipulative, it doesn't have a gender, but you can tell it from afar if you are, how can I put it, wise enough to see the signs.
No, you see, the problem I'm having with your argument is you're treating him like he's a little kid. He's a grown man. He can, if he sees that there's something, why can't he himself tell? Oh yeah, I'm also typing the like, oh, I keep on forgetting. Why can't he's a grown man, he can tell, okay, no, this relationship is abusive, or she's controlling. He's grown. Why can't he tell for himself that the relationship is in his wrong? Why does he need now other external forces to get in his marriage and tell him, or his relationships and tell him? Also, I, the mother is being too involved. Even if she's the most manipulative person, psychopathic, he chose her, and the max she can do is sit down with his son and say, okay, I feel like this person is wrong, I recommend you do this and this and this. Not come into the home, start demanding stuff, start talking to the wife, start, no, you can't be doing that. You can't be now shaming people and no. Yeah, yeah, being in the home, she needs to understand she's a mother, not like to a grown adult, not a kid, not somebody who needs to be like parented and to be controlled and stuff. I feel like she what is it? She never ever got out of that phase of that this is a grown man. He can make his own decisions, he can do his own stuff. If he's gonna ruin his life, let him ruin his life out of his own decision. But this thing of mothers being too involved, even if it was a father or does parents are not supposed to be too involved in their child's lives to the point where now they're policing them.
I think the other thing is like the guy is not stable. So it looks like every time they have a misunderstanding with the wife, this guy would go report to his mother. And now that prompts the mother to like really get involved, and he cannot really stand for either the mother or the wife. So it's like the guy is causing this crossfire thing. Because if he can stand up to his mother and say, you need to back off, and if he can stand up to his wife and say, you need to respect my mother, I don't think there'll be such situations where it has to reach to physical terms, where they have to be slapping, what. So the guy is equally a problem.
Yeah, I said it earlier on. The guy is, I would think, the guy is those guys who get pulled by the nose by their wives or girlfriends. I think he's a simp for, yeah, let me just put it like that, because clearly this thing is not something new, and this was just a boiling point, and things have been happening and he's been trying to manage them, but he also is at fault because it's like he doesn't have any balls, he doesn't have any chutzpah, as the Jews would call it. He is too afraid to put his foot down in the relationship. He's too afraid to take the lead. He's too afraid to even dish out repercussions or punishment for any negative behavior, because as much as you are my wife, but there are certain things that you cannot do, and if you do those things, there's an aftermath that will come with them. And clearly this is something that he ignored, and now it blew up in his face and it affected his mother. So yeah, I think from this I can say the husband is at fault for not having any balls and not controlling his wife. I think the wife is at fault for just being a disrespectful person. And the mother, there's a possibility that she's one of those mothers who might have been too involved. It is plausible. And in the same way, it is also plausible that she saw the true colors of the wife, and ever since the wife has been dating the husband, she's been trying to warn the husband, or my son, this is a bad woman. In South Africa, we call them ke stratmate. She's not a good woman for you. Pick better. So yeah, those are my three assumptions about all three parties involved in this.
Hmm. Yeah, nah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on. Let's hear what. Okay, Sia just joined us. Let's hear what Malume Sia has to say. Malume, somebody slapped the husband's mother. What do you have to say? She must go to jail. How many years?
7 years, my friend. 7 years.
Yeah, read and
How are
tell
you?
me what you think, though. I'm
How are
okay
you,
outside.
Mr. Etu?
My brother, I'm okay, my man. I'm okay.
I,
How's it on your side?
I'm okay. I'm still recovering from yesterday. Yo, it was tough.
Yeah, well,
Even eating the whole day. Yeah.
it's good. It's fun. It's a good thing.
What are we on? The topic of the day. Is this episode 2 or episode 1?
This is episode 1.
Oh, okay. I think as I'm reading it now, I said this to a lady I was interested in, and I said, sometimes women just get into your life, and they're gonna. One of the results of it is distance from family members, regardless of whether she thinks you're a mama's boy or daddy's princess or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, I feel like as partners, we've learned, and that is why we are so rooted into being individuals these days. We tear apart from our families the moment we have partners, and I think it's both ways. But most of the time, a woman will come into your life and things will change. Friends will change, and I said it's a toxic trait that I am not going to let go of. My friends, I never do that. Never, 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 never let go of my friends. I will never. I'm just saying that for peace sake. If I'm going out with my friends, I'm just going out with my friends. Call number two, bye for now. But anyway, um, all I'm saying is as partners, especially when it comes to the woman, I know of a brother. Ever since we got married, and he's a doctor, and now that he's like that, he has less interest in family, that is, and he has more interest in the the family members of the wife. She controls most of the things, most of the decisions, finances, and whatever the case may be. When they are around and it's time to gather things so that everyone is sorted, he will always hold back because of woman is well, who she is. I'm not going to say all of the women are like that, but it is something that happens, that when your partner comes, especially with the men, it's the same when the same thing happens when they both come in with children. Her children are going to stay from different fathers and mothers. Her children are going to stay, but the ones of him, they can't be seen anywhere around here. It's become a norm, and I'm not saying uh, I'm saying we should discuss it, not for understanding, but it's a way of life. People must just accept that when such things happen, it is what it is. But yeah, I haven't read through the whole thing, but I just wanted to comment on when a wife comes in, vele, you must just accept gore. Once she becomes you are a husband, this is a general thing, ukuthi you will be torn from your family members. I don't know how it happens. I don't know why it happens, but then you'll be more rooted to her family. It's ancient. The same with the guy I was telling you about. He's so rooted in the other family. The guy you are investigating, that guy, he's rooted there. He could not care less about children, his own children. But if you see him with the other family, he takes part like no man's business. But anyway,
Wait, what guy are we investigating?
no, it's
When I relax, relax.
yeah, I'm telling you, ancient. I'm like,
Relax.
if you
Wait, who are we investigating? Guys, who are we investigating? You can't
Umzali,
just like glide past that.
Umzali, relax. It's between me and
relax,
Sia.
down,
Relax.
relax.
So then
And
why are you talking about it on this platform if it's between the two of
Nah,
you? No, I mean, I
he's
can't say anything further.
he's
I
referencing.
can't say I can't say anything further if we are now having side conversations and now the rest of us are left curious, guys. Now you don't do that to me. You don't even at work they know you don't do that to me.
Guys,
Okay?
please. We're not at work.
Let
We
me
didn't
in on
know.
the
Now we
scoop.
know.
you see,
How?
okay, Umzali, it's
Yeah.
there. At least there are a few people here. I can't say he's trying to investigate, and if you don't get it, I'm gonna say it once. If you don't get it, you don't get it, and when you do, you do.
I'm listening
Um,
carefully.
he's trying to investigate who the seed is, my seed. So with that said, I'm just making a reference because he's been and he's never come to say he's found him. And I'm like, no, you see him every day, every single day. There's no way you don't see him being interviewed, being this and that and that and that and that and that. And he said, I'll find him. It had to do with the PKTT, TT stuff. So, not gonna go too deep into that. What I just said to him is that I gave him another hint. He's rooted fully on the other side of the family more than his side. So it's just like that.
Unembewu kanti oyitshalile siya. Kanti awusho
No,
siya.
no. Mina ngiyimbewu yakhe.
Oh, okay. Yo, I think I want to investigate too. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so hence I'm saying to you, Mzali, this is just experience. Oguti, when once we as men have a partner, let's say girlfriend, boyfriend.
No, I feel like that is wrong. You know what, Ne? I feel like that is the wrong thing to accept as a man. That's terrible. You can't accept that as a man. Because at the end of the day, Ne, if anything, these things, when you are saying what do you bring to the table from a woman's role is to come and strengthen your bloodline. And strengthening your bloodline, they can't strengthen it on their own. They need your people present. They need your people to know how your things are done. So when a woman comes into your life, you're actually supposed to actually find yourself closer to your family than before. Mina, in my perspective, I feel like as a woman, that's my role as in your life as your wife. To come and cause division between you and your family as your wife means I'm failing dismally as a wife. That's my
Okay.
take on this. And the fact that now we are even preaching that men should accept, no, it shouldn't. That is unacceptable. Unless, of course, if your mother is genuinely toxic, then that's a different case. But if your wife comes into your life to separate you from your family, your children, that is not the wife for you. And
You
yes,
know,
this is grounds, in my perspective, this is grounds for divorce. The topic on the board, that is grounds for divorce. And honestly speaking, if a woman cannot respect your family, cannot respect you, okay, fine, maybe Nina, mawunomfazi wakho niba u-two endlini nikhuluma bof-tech and you don't mind. But if this person can raise their hand at your mother, the grandmother of her future children as well, or current children, that is a brand new. You don't want that kind of energy around you. You don't want that woman teaching your children anything. That is my take.
I didn't
And I
read.
would advise men, do not accept it. I'm not normally on men's side, Vele, because you know what, the men on this panel make it hard to be on men's side. But,
eh,
I'm normally secretly on the men's side when I'm in these things because you guys make it hard. I don't want to lie, you make it difficult to take your side. But anyway, in this case, I will say, dear gentlemen, love yourselves, love your bloodline, love your family enough to walk away from a woman that will pull you away from all of those things.
but
Yeah, ne?
I, you see, the thing is, I hear Umzali, but then the the reality of it is, as Umjita, I've got friends. She's gonna go on the one of the very first things. I don't like this friend. At the end of the day, as boys, going into relationships, we will lose our friends. Going into to marriages, we lose family, and that has now become a norm. Regardless of whether they are toxic or not, but the distance then begins and comes somehow. Don't know why. But going back to the topic, having read the rest of the topic, I I don't know what would push me to hit a female. I don't know if this would be grounds for me to, do that in that instance. I do not know. But I'm saying, as agreed with Umzali, it's not even grounds for You know, it's grounds for arrest. She should have been arrested. Now my minimum sentence is 7 years. Correctional behavior. As I agreed with Ancient. Ancient, this lady must be found. She must be
Ngani bathe ubheji lotho number 7 because yeah, you're into number 7 lately, Putsi. Hey.
she must be arrested. She must 7 years sentence. And Ibile is GP, gender-based violence. This thing. She must be arrested, and we must make an example of her.
No, but yeah, I mean, I also I agree with that to say this woman, sir, if you don't have, especially if you don't have kids, it's okay to leave. Your mother in this instance, you know what, a
They
mother
have one
shouldn't
child
They
normally
have
together.
be
one kid,
saying
yeah.
it,
It
it
says they
shouldn't
have
come
one
from
kid.
his mother to say divorce her. Oh shit, shucks. Okay, then that's now difficult. Get her arrested then.
No, but the problem, I understand your argument. Of course, a wife is not supposed to separate a mother and a child. But the problem we have with this mother is it's like she's trying to police the relationship. Imagine you're married and then your husband's mother's coming in and saying, oh, you should be doing this, telling you what you should be doing, telling the husband what's going on. When it's the relationship has been the two of you, it's not between you, her, and the mother. The mother is supposed to, of course, be involved, and but not to a point where she's now dictating stuff in the relationship.
I mean, Tato, our parents, we are supposedly these are black people. Were brought together by these parents, you know, that we're talking about. And I'm not saying every 2 minutes she must say this or that, but the end of the day, man, parents, one of the parents will always be closer to your relationship and see certain things, and of course police it. And it's not a bad thing, you know. Some of these words we are throwing around, like policing of how people dress, policing of
Sorry,
mother.
Madam Sia, before you go further, I'd like to hear Tato's take on what makes you say that this woman is policing this relationship. Let's first hear that. Then we can further unpack that.
My first hint is the term mother's boy, mama's boy. So, mama's boy generally means that every decision and everything that's happening in this guy's life is going to be dictated by the mother. So, otherwise, they wouldn't use the term mother's boy. Uh,
Nah, I
Also,
think when
the
they
fact
hear
that the mother's saying get a divorce or like is having this beef. This beef wouldn't be possible if they like had distance between them. Like beef can only exist when you guys are meeting and seeing each other regularly and things are happening like constantly. And also the fact that they were alone in the same house is crazy. I think that's also crazy that they're just alone. Like the what is it? The
Why can't you
husband
be
wasn't there.
alone with your mother-in-law? As a woman, why should it be that difficult to be alone with your mother-in-law? Because I feel like there is an opportunity for you to bond with the woman who entered this family before you.
Ask him again.
No,
Ask
the
him
reason
that
I have a
question.
problem with that in this situation specifically is because now there's 3 years of beef. So if I knew two people are beefing for 3 years, I'm not gonna put them alone together.
You mean adults? These are adults. These are people who, if they've been beefing for 3 years and there's never been any tension. Remember, the guy said he's been trying to manage it and everything has been okay. So I mean, probably they are getting along. They are busy. They are seeing eye to eye at least. They are eating on this at the same table. That's at least maybe not from the same plate. You know, they are able to ask a question and the other can just say yes or no. You know, that's it. Perhaps this issue may have just been escalated by, of course, the son wasn't home and the mother sees some dishes and like, oh, I thought you did these dishes, and she's like, oh, why must I do dishes for you? I'm just using dishes as example. Something petty that would have just triggered some response, and it's like how, and then bam, you know, women, they can go from
I
0 to 100. You can ask Umzade, she will tell you there's K down there, she can confirm.
can I
Zero
ask
to 100.
Mr. Ancient? You know, is this term mama's boy? that the wife is using, saying, "Are you and your son is a mama's boy, and you two can go to hell." Well, the mama's boy term that she's using, is this an excuse to ill-treat him and look at him as a weakling or something like that? Because at some point, the mother will come in and protect if Vele you are a problem as a woman. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Of course, I think somebody said that earlier to say if the if you if the girl, right, the wife notices that there's somebody who is able to expose her true colors, they will always want to cut you off them. They always want to isolate you from them, and so maybe that's what the mother was trying to do. However, if the girl claims that he's a mama's boy, I'm probably sure she's been noticing it even before they got married, right? And maybe she's been saying it as well, and they never took each other seriously. So we don't know how this thing got escalated, but at the point where we are seeing this tension right now, where this fight is going on right now, from the outcome, I think people are suggesting that divorce and jail term is the way to go.
I don't know about jail time because then there has to be an investigation, like what led up to this point. Because there's also a child. I assume the
Yeah.
child was also in the room. Maybe the mother was threatening to hurt the child. We don't know what's going on. So we'd have to have a whole investigation and we'd have to have more context to determine whether she deserves jail time or not.
GPV is now a national crisis, so we've got police handling this. They can be investigated.
No, that's not GBV. This is two women. GBV would have to be one of two people of separate genders.
Hey, man. So GPV gets
This
to
is domestic violence.
this domestic violence. Okay, with intent of unaliving the other one. This woman must be arrested. We can give her 5 counts of attempted murder. This one. That's all.
No, there's nothing to suggest that it's attempted murder because at the end of the day, she just did a slap.
Yeah, a
She'd have to
slap
have.
to an elderly woman. She, I
We don't
mean,
know the ages of them. We don't know if she's like elderly to the point where she's frail, like where she can't even move that much, or if this, like, there's nothing in this context to suggest that it's an attempted murder. It is an assault, so they can't charge her for that.
J88 must be open. Grievous bodily harm is this one what she did. You can't slap me and we just say it's common assault and no. I'd make sure this person is arrested with full investigations because I pay my taxes.
Yeah, and also it's up to the mother to press charges of not or not. If she's like, nah, it's okay, then there's I don't know if the
Okay,
police can
can
keep
I ask you a question, Tato? Let's say you are married to Umzali. Umzali slaps your mom. I don't know what your mom's
No,
age
no, no,
is.
no, no, no. Don't use Umzali, please. Use somebody else. Don't
Okay,
use Umzali.
I'm just making an example, and
I
honestly
understand that, but
speaking,
how will you be making example with my online wife?
You
Use
guys.
somebody else.
Bona Tato, I know some.
Use there's Tepiso, there's K
Okay,
down there.
let's
K.
use K.
Where's K? Use
Let's,
K.
you see, problem with K. Problem is the other thing that we did. Anyway, let's use K.
K is
Um,
violent. You can even hear that she said she will slap another. Go ahead, use K. K is
Okay.
perfect. Not my Umzali. Leave her
And
alone.
I don't know if Tato, and I apologize if I'm making the wrong example, but you someone slapping your mother, and I apologize if has left, but I'm just making the
no, she's
example.
alive and she's fine.
Okay, I'm just making an example because I don't want to assume anything. And here's a person, ubegu mama kwisandla, he slaps your mom, regardless of the conversation, regardless of anything. I'm totally against any form of violence. We ought to talk it out. I don't care what happened. Call me a coward. It's fine, but if you push me to a corner and I retaliate, you mustn't come here and give me problems. What I'm saying to you is that put yourself in this case, right? It gets to a point where someone has done it. It doesn't even have to be a family member of yours where we get to a point to make an example of it. It's totally unacceptable and must be challenged, and the law must take its course. Yeah, divorce is not going to assist anything when this woman is doing such. Ibile, she can speak and say go to hell about me as a husband. Awu, eish, ufuna ukukhuluma amagama amabi.
Personally speaking, if we're getting personal, I know personally my mother is not the perfect person. She also might, like, on certain occasions, she might irritate me and do certain things. And I understand. The thing is, I understand because even my mother herself, she has tried. Well, not to say my mother's like violent, but she's not a violent person, but she has tried to hurt a person in a moment of anger. Luckily, she was held back at that time. But she also, like, when we talk about it, she regrets, like, having that feeling and attempting. So it's also a thing of like the beef that has been building. It's not about, like, people will act out of character when certain things don't get addressed and their needs, they feel like there's not enough justice. So it's hard to say that if this lady is just like psycho slapping people and she's just okay with it, or if this is like building up of so many things that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know. Maybe she's also not. Maybe this mother's trying to also police the child, and now this mama bear trying to protect her child. Like, no, you can't be saying this to my child. You're just the mother-in-law, not the mother of my child. We don't know what's going on. So to say like slap is just like the end all be all. Sure, we don't condone violence, but we must see the context of how things happen.
Yazi Thato, uma ukhona ukushaya umama uzoshaya mina. If you can slap my mother, you're going to slap me, or you are probably slapping me. There is no form of understanding. That I think if there's one thing that I always say on this panel, one of the very first standards is choice of words. For me personally, Tado, I make sure when you speak, you must come nice, because if you don't, that is how things build up. And I cannot bring anyone like that into my family, even into my life. I don't have such people. It even would be very hard for me to hear you to say, hey man, I've been trying to call you, why you're answering your phone, and you start going off at me. Me, I'll adjust you and tell you, chief, relax. This is my phone. You don't do that. I missed it. I got back to you. You don't have to now start going down a hill with words, because it will lead to hands. And we don't want things to ever escalate to where we start hitting each other, because if you hit me, self-defense. And I feel like it builds on habit, ukuphakamisa isandla, as much as words. You letting loose words such, you calling me as a husband weak, regardless of what it is. You chose to marry me. You married a weak husband. So now you must say you're weak. Aren't you supposed to strengthen? I mean, there's nothing normal about this woman, regardless of how we try and build a context of this whole thing. No. This man had no standards when he picked a wife, and now unfortunately the mother got a slap, which is his fault, by the way. In any case, this woman must just get arrested and go to corrective behavioral institutions. We've got anger management classes. We've got a lot. She can come back with a certificate, but still, of course, divorce is going to happen. But I would ask Nje that we agree, even if we disagree, but agree to disagree, that she must be arrested or serve some community time for this action of stepping another person. Simple. Organ Tap.
So yeah, we'll agree to disagree because we're never going to see eye to eye on this. Because I don't think we should just take isolated case and then make conclusions like, oh, okay, she slept now. Oh, she said go to hell, so now she needs to be put in something or she needs to be sent somewhere. No, we don't know. We don't know what happened. I feel like when we take things into context and understand them more, we can have a better picture of what should actually happen. Because you're telling me, let's say you are with your, let's say your wife, your, if you have one, or hypothetical wife's father, and you guys are alone, and let's say you're with the child, and he says something snarks about your child, or he does something like he says some crazy stuff about your wife or something. You're not gonna try to put him in his place. You've never been in a moment of anger where you're gonna now try to do
The,
something about something.
I think there are two cases where I've been physical. One was back in grade 7. I slapped someone for something. This other boy called Wandile, surname Mashama, and he was at a and the parents came to me. Wara wara. The second time I got was when I was at the Seeds place, and there was a big hoo-ha there, and someone took alcohol from a sister. The only thing I did was I found him splashing some alcohol or whatever onto her. I attended him very fast, and it was 1-2 slaps, get away. However, I regret those days, because till today, nonetheless, she sees me as a wild person. But anyway, again, Tato, even if me and you were going to talk now, there's no need, absolutely zero need to get to a point where you and I get physical. There's no point. Now, for me, as a minimum standard, do not raise your hand. Ngiyakuzwa uma sesikhuluma ngey'ngane ukuthi at some point iy'ngane kumele uyispenge uyishaye, but once they get over a certain age, you speak, hey, you'll get hurt for being outside late, attending clubs and zolimali, and at the end of the day, that's the best you can do. When someone says, yeah, but yeah, you are a mama's boy and what, you had every other option. Keep quiet, sit down. You could even go and open a case for verbal abuse. There are grounds for that, Mus. So there's no need to get to a point where says yeah, Shayan. Mas says Shayan, lo one me laugh. That is me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the question is, we don't know what provoked her. There were two, and I'm assuming the child might have been there as well, because if the husband is gone, I'm assuming it's just the wife and the mother and the child. So we don't know what provoked. And the second example you brought up, like if somebody poured alcohol, and also my sister, I would also feel inclined to do something. It's also a thing of being protective. Like, sure, I can rather regret my actions than allow my sister to be violated.
Hence, I'm saying to you, Oguti, that trigger, and you decide you're going to raise your hand, is the reason why that we've got issues as we do in society. That is why some people are no more. That is why you have a position where jails are full like that. I'm saying to you, it's a thing of, I don't know what it would take for me to react and do something in a physical manner. I don't know what it is. But I'm saying to you, maso uyikhombile uthi isukile ziyasha mfowethu. Injalo, if we get to a point where we are now physical, every time we meet we must be physical. Now we wouldn't let it go. Honestly speaking, that I promise you that simple. I'm telling you this, and I'm saying it, maybe people are recording. I'm saying to you, once you raise your hand towards me, it won't end. Hence, I'm saying to you, the first thing that I ask of any of the people that are around me, hey, pick your words. If you don't have anything to say, shut up. Keep quiet. Walk away. Because if you can't use your words properly, then you must be having hands that speak for you. And once you do that, you'll land yourself into a big problem, especially with me. Now I've got people that can make things disappear. If you must disappear, I'll make you disappear as well. And angeke ngizwe lutho futhi. So there's honestly, Tato, absolutely no need. I not regardless of the context, even with me, you can hold me to my words. There is no day where I've been threatened before, I've been called to unalive everything. I've seen it. Hey, I've been protected by bodyguards because of your president, Cyril Ramaphosa. But Asilab, I'm saying to you, there is no need for all of that. Hence, I said to that detailed gent, anami nangishaba bafowethu, angisukelani, angiqalani, mayifike lapho I move away. If you come for me, it's a different topic. If you come for me, physical is a different topic. You've got choices to make. I will never sleep knowing someone is out there and wants to hit me or has hit my angeke. Singacabana mfowethu. Singacabana ke. We'll have a fight. You're gonna need translations.
Yeah, and some of the things you're saying I can't understand.
Wawulele.
No.
English only.
I can understand Sotho as well.
Oh. But all I'm saying is that there is absolutely no need to raise your hand at all. Zero.
I think what Kay is bringing up is very valid. Like, if imagine somebody comes in your home and always provoking you for 3 years in your home, and
Hey,
they
bruh.
can't provoke you every time for 3 years. It's gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to. Where you feel like you have to put hands.
How do we avoid hands, Tato? Rather this person not come to my house.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. But the husband is not enforcing that boundary. He's always inviting the mom and letting the mom come, even though the wife is like, no, let's put some distance. Let her be a mom, not like part of this relationship. But the husband allows the mom to keep on coming and keep on doing her stuff, and then it gets to a point.
Umzali pointed out a mere factor here. And Umzali had said, as a woman should strengthen y'all's relationships. And I agreed with her and I said, yes, that is how it should be, but it's not like that. Right? And if then it leads there, Tato, we've got family members, uncles, grandparents, whatever, that to come, sit down, discuss this issue, and come out with a progressive way forward. To say either because the mother says no, ngomntwanakhe, ukuthi this is not the makoti for you. The family had to decide, okay, so that we don't get to a point where there's physical, regardless whether it's the husband and the wife, or the wife and the gogo, or the son and the in-laws, whatever the case may be. Rather everyone go their separate ways. It didn't work. I mean, I would find every other excuse, Tato, to get to a point where we avoid physical contact. Because once we get physical, one must die. Now that is just me.
Yeah, and I agree. The thing is, I do agree. They should have never gotten to this point. We should have never been here. The fact that, and I also agree that there's no way you're supposed to be hitting somebody's mother, even under any context, no matter what she said. But we must always understand that these things they provoke. They happen like in a certain context. We can't just put all the blame on the wife without knowing what's going on. Because unless she's crazy, then if you prove that, then we can say, okay, it's wrong. But if now there's provoking and taunting happening, you must also take that into consideration.
Can I give you a question? Have you seen how white people fight? Like these Afrikaners. They request that you lay your hands first on me, so that they can use whatever minimum force to try and get away from you. Whether that is minimum force or not is a different question. But I'm saying to you, simply, what she has done, she has opened herself up, this lady, to say, regardless of you are being bullied verbally and whatever, I agree with you. But now the mere fact that she was the first person to raise her hand and slam the next person, the law will take its place. I mean, divorce is nothing. The law must come in here, because I'm totally against, and maybe I sound like a broken record. There was no point, even if we ask the husband to show Uguti what are the mitigating efforts. What did you do to try and manage this? Oh no, I set them down and we talk. Oh no, if in any case, you know, I prayed for them. I managed it. It's the same way you would have a dog outside running around the yard, where a friend comes in, you walk in with your friend, you leave the dog and the friend outside. Obvious, my dog is going to bite you. There was an obvious case, Okore. If you guys are saying it's as obvious as, why is she doing in my house? Why is this one left alone? At the end of the day, the simple boundary that as humans we should have is that asilwe. Mamele silo siyodlala iswazi or siyodlala induku, we're gonna play. Yes, it's harmful. There will be paramedics on the side, so that when someone gets hurt, they deal with you during those games. It's fine, gentlemen's games. But it doesn't get to a point that where, regardless of where you are, regardless of who you are, you must not raise your hand on the next person, because we'll have to now go into detail of what other people. The moment you raise your hand, jail. Now this thing is simple. Very, very simple. Uzoshaya umama wena, ukubani nambabani. Never. And I know not that I get angry personally. I get angry. Very, very, very. I'm a very calm person. But once I get to a point where logic does not take place anymore. Ish.
Yeah, on that, I'd have to say there is grounds for at least an arrest, but the process of jail will have to be decided by judicial system after considering a lot of factors.
Okay, don't be limited by jail 7 years. I'm saying, can we come up with some sort of repercussions, some sort of, you know, a way of handling such things, Tato, as a society on TikTok, and we're going to be loud out there and say, you know what, for this, for such an issue, this is how we need to to mitigate, you know. How then, besides jail, I mean, besides divorce, Tat, all right, sharp, we get to a point where she had to, as we are saying, Koro, we don't know what led to this. Now that we can make a simple example, the mother said to this lady, yeah, but you're in my son's house, the dishes are not done, I never brought him up like that. I had made sure that the following, your maid is not doing the right stuff. And it gets to a point where this lady is like, you know what, I'm tired of you every time coming and saying this is wrong, this is wrong. You are not my parent, my biological parent. Now that you are not my biological parent, mine have passed away, and I'm triggered now to slap you, and she slaps it. I walk in and she says, I'd do it again. To hell with both of you. Basically, what now? Besides divorce, how would you then, as Utato, try and get between this whole thing? How then, what would you do? Would you say, how then, regardless of your mom not being a perfect person, and everyone has their own faults, but I'm saying here is the direct context of what has happened. How then do you come in and say, this is how this is going to be handled?
So yeah, I saw a comment saying restraining order. You could get a restraining order. Uh, of course, I could open a case. Yeah, so you're fair to say jail, but like the thing about it has to be it has to be decided in a judicial system. That's a lengthy process, and you're gonna have to take like prove that it happened out of like malice or whatever. So I
No,
think this is for people to sit down and just talk to each other, because everybody here is a grown adult. Like there's no need. I don't know if jail is in order. I don't know. Maybe the slap was severe, but I feel like you just talk it out or create boundaries between each other, and then yeah, it's done.
no, but hence I'm saying to you, you are now the guy, right? This has happened, and I just said to built up a simple scenario for you where the mother was the one that provoked the wife. She is now slapped by saying the following words: "Okgore, yes, your son, I didn't treat my son like this, and you must do this and this and this." Now that this has happened, as the man, let's move aside from jail. What would you then decide to do besides the divorce? Is it you saying, okay, listen, my beautiful wife, nalo wena ifedamo, our relationship, our marriage ends here and today. Mom, asambe sekhaya, mom, let's go home. We are done. We'll never speak to each other. Is that how far you would take it? Or what other steps would you take besides the one that you are saying would be a lengthy process of jail? What else would you do?
It's hard because how am I going to distance myself to somebody I have a child with? I'm sure we can like not live in the same place, but we're going to have to meet when we're like talking about matters of the kid and stuff. So you can't get away from the fact that he's going to have to deal with this wife.
No,
This
he doesn't have to.
What do you mean? If they have a kid together, they're going to have to.
Chief, I said this the other day or the day before. I said then I'd rather become a deadbeat.
I There we disagree because
I'd
I don't
rather,
think.
if I'm not gonna become a deadbeat, give me my child back. Give me my child and don't ever come near us. Simple. I don't want two ways about this. For me, either I take the child. There's no need for me and this
But you
person.
must realize the child is equally both, like for both parents. So each parent has a right to have a relationship with their child, regardless
Yeah,
of anything.
I agree with you. You lost your rights the moment you slapped my mother.
No,
I
they
can't.
probably okay.
No. Tato, I don't want to be held ransom and by gunpoint. Uhuri, now this must happen because this hour. I pay some women out there are very, very toxic, like this one. Won't stand for this. I wouldn't stand for this. I'd ask simply, dear family, this is the last time we're meeting. In that meeting after separation, uhuri, senza njani ngomntanami. Ngizicelela umntanami ukuzikhulisela yena. Ngalokhu ningirasela, I don't need anyone's 5 rand, 2 rand, whatever. We don't have to see each other angingeni. Ngicela umntana ngozikhulisela yena. Nangabe ningafuni, nisale naye la. Ningalokhu ningifonela ningitshela inyuva dem. Simple. Cause ekugcineni khona umuntu ozolimala. It's as simple as that. Can't tolerate a disrespectful person, and then just because we have a child, I must agree to such. You are calling me such words, weak, and I must go to hell. Hi man, there's no such that. Absolutely no such. I cannot agree. Never. No, 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 no. Ibile K is speaking down there. She must come here. K, come here. I agree that you're being disrespected in your house. All right, sharp. Senza njani? No, man. I'm a very soft person.
I mean, when it comes to custody, I don't know if you're saying between the families, but in a court of law, you'd have to prove that the wife is abusive, like would be abusive to the child. If the wife is a good mother, then it doesn't matter that she slapped your mom. Well, it will be taken into consideration when the split is decided. But
Tato, when we get to that point, now I'll go to jail. Serve my sentence of fathering a child and not giving child anything. Come back in 5 years' time, continue with my life. It's done, Mus. I didn't pay maintenance. I was arrested. It's done. I served my sentence. Correctional behavior done. I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to do that. I can't. We must not be held ransom for such things, and women must not be held ransom for nonsense of men. No. No. We can't. It is unacceptable that you are going to raise your hand, firstly at an adult. Isinto asivumi. Culture doesn't agree with such. There is a place for that. We play, we hit each other, we play there. Iswazi, there's a drumming between us. Sinezivigo lapha kwaZulu. Umuntu ubamba isigidi sakhe, omunye ubamba isigidi, omunye ugeza ngentelezi sibuye shine. Hure. Siyadlala, umdlalo. But once we get to a point like this, regardless, I cannot agree that you disrespect me as your husband and you say such words. I can't agree. I can't agree that you as a mama's boy, and I'm still saying as a mama's boy, that you slap my mother. Otherwise, because the Bible says, turn to the other cheek, you must bring your mother here so I can slap your mother. But what I'm trying to say to you, Tato, with me, I do not agree to any form of violence. Yeah, there's corporal punishment and that I'm fine with. But when we get to a point where it's like this, icon, I'm trying. Icon. Rather call me a deadbeat because I refuse to understand what led to you slapping my mother, what led to you calling me. Let me be a weak man and not provide for this child. This child must know, I crossed the line, I slapped his mother, and I called him weak, and I told him he can go to hell. I'm in hell now.
I trust here to always take it to the extreme, hey?
No, Vumela, man. Yeah, Mzali, yeah.
Angari, but now we're so extreme, bro.
Ah.
Here's what, Mina, I feel like Laba, there's a lot actually here that is I'm realizing, Mina, my first take, ne? As much as I still stand by it, but I realize that there's a lot of holes in this story. There's a lot of holes. The more I listen, the more I read, I realize there's a lot of holes because this gent over here said we've been married for 3 years and my wife always wanted to keep me away from my mom because she says I'm a mommy's boy. Because she says you're a mommy's boy, it's got to be deeper than that. Why is it that it's not because she says you're a mommy's boy? There's a reason why she's saying you're a mommy's boy and you're not addressing that. So her relationship with my mom has never been great. You still proceeded to marrying her knowing that fact, and you were okay with it at the time. I've tried to manage, and so same with this woman. She proceeded to marry this man knowing that he's a mama's boy, knowing that he. So I want to establish at which point did this woman discover that this man is a mama's boy, and at which point was this man told by his wife that he's a mama's boy, and at which point was this, and in which ways has she tried to keep him away from his mom? That's also very important. So yeah, also here I've tried to manage this, and so far everything has been great. Yeah, I think somebody touched on the point to say, how did he try and manage this through prayer or what? And if she walked, and when he walked in on them in this heated argument, what was this argument about? Because you know what, maybe in this case where I can understand a woman wanting to raise their hand at their mother-in-law would be if she's maybe what she's being toxic towards the child. There's no way a person's going to be toxic in the direction of my child, and I take that lying down. Mina, if I think about it as myself, in as much as there's a woman, I'm here to bring harmony, peace, and happiness into the household, into your family. If you are going to be any kind of toxic to my child, I will step on your neck. I won't just slap you. I won't just slap you. So we don't know what this dispute was all about.
Mzali,
And
oh, you
what
still
was
going?
the mother doing there in the first place? Because also another thing, when you think about it, your parents shouldn't be coming to your house more often than necessary. You are the one that should be going up and down to your parents' house. But now, what is the mother doing in the house of the woman that she despises? And also the fact, the audacity of the mother saying that he should divorce this woman, or it shows that this woman that she also has no remorse for that incident that took place in that house. And clearly, there's a certain lack of accountability from the mother's side as well. Yeah, but that's just what, yeah. So I'm just asking myself a lot of these questions. There's a lot that is unclear here.
Mzali, I I agree with that statement where um, we should be visiting more our our rents rather than them visiting us. You know, but here's what has happened. This has happened regardless of, you know, that context. Um, maybe it was maybe my mother is not married and was missing me, and she's come here as a mama's boy, and I'm responding as a mama's boy. My mom was here to check on how everything is going. She has probably, because of, you know, this, mama's boy will always be part of their child's life and want to control and assist. Umntwana makathatha isinqumo. Mama's boy, usually mothers, you know, I know this one, that ancient is trying to find their mother is still alive, and their mother gives him money at the age she's at, not just small money. The tingulungwane temalandi, tens and tens of thousands at a high age of 85. And let's not go too deep into that, but I'm saying to you, there are those people that are fortunate to receive a bit more love from their parents, but it doesn't necessarily get to a point where it should be seen as a stepping stone for disrespect. You can't, as you are saying, at what point do you look at a husband or a wife and say such, and it's taken lightly? How should that? I know for a fact that say that to my mom, she'd probably be the one slapping you in defense of me, because my mom wants to play a role in my life in everything. What to wear, how to wear it, this. I says ikhona into enjalo. Semayimele senze. At some point, you are correct, Mzali. He's a mama's boy. Stay away. You married a mama's boy. Now you are sleeping. Now my problem here is, let us not get to a point where isandla siyaphakamiswa. Because once we give one particular person an excuse and say it's okay, umtanami, what if the child was there watching the slap? What must they learn?
Which is why I'm saying, I would like to understand what the altercation was about, really. Because if maybe you find the altercation might have been that Ukoko might have lashed has been given the child a lashing or whatever. We need to know what the altercation was about.
Yeah,
Maybe the grandmother gave the child an unwarranted lashing, or
yes.
you never know what went down there. I need to know, because there are certain instances where I can imagine myself, certain extremes where I can imagine myself taking it there. For example, anything to do with my child, I will definitely take it there.
You see, Mzali, let's that's the context, because the topic is what it is. We now create the context where you are saying, you know what, given the circumstance where Umtanami didn't wash their dishes, they put it there, and Ukoko then was around, say, yay, wena siya watata ifadugu wamenza busy ngefadugu. Then you as the wife, you come in and you say, hayi gogo, hayi kwami umntwana, thatha uve nawe, uyabona, and you jikijera one, and it's happened. You are now the one that did Mzali.
It's fine. I'll take it with my chest, because okay, maybe not in that case scenario, but like, yeah, again, like I said, men's are busy and I tell you stop, and you still carry on, and then we have an altercation. If when usha because uzonda mina, and not because you are punished, I always say let the punishment fit that crime, and that's not a punishment that fits the crime, ne? So if when you are going to be beating my child out of hate, best believe that hate is coming back to you. You are not going to be inflicting trauma on my child just because you hate me
I
and expect me to just be on some no mamezala musukwenza kanjani. No mamezala, I am fucking you up.
Mzali, I am not the kind of a person that has ever woken up and thought like that. Uguti, I don't know ukuthi ngaba njani. I was never wired to see hate, to assume the worst and whatever. Now I don't know how hate is
You
transferred
know what, ne?
to a child.
Mina, I will tell you for one, ne, from what I've learned, and growing up, you get taught these things by either seeing these things happen, or go being busy, or you hear your mother talk, you learn some of these things. And from me, my mom has always told me that, you know what, if somebody wants to get to you, the easiest route they will take is they will go through your child to get to you. So for me, if you hate me, you dislike me, and you touch my child, I don't care. I'm not doing investigations to see, was this out of your hatred for me? Was this out of you trying to be yay? I am going for you, guns blazing, because again, you hate me. There's no good you can want for my child when you hate me.
Nah, because again, I don't view life with those kind of spectacles. Now for me, everyone has good intentions. If you have got bad intentions, the day I get to a point where there's no logic,
When everybody has good intentions, kusho wena kanjalo ngeke.
okay,
Asoze.
it's my weakness.
Hayi.
It's my weakness. I'm now being personal with you, ge Mzali. The
You.
one, listen, ge Mzali. Now we talk. Now I'm saying to you, the one thing that my mother and my father fear the most is how I perceive every single person as a good person with good intentions. Because for me, it's difficult to see who this person spoke about me because they were trying to get to me, or who they are withholding the GD6 because they are trying to get to. I've never, honestly speaking, I can't, I'm not that person. But I am now thus learning now. Ohori, it's me, It's what and God for us all. Every man for himself and God for us all. I've only learned that for the past maybe 3 months, 4 months, to say, but I've never, honestly speaking, I speak freely. I speak boldly about me, my situation, struggles, problems, and when you hear it from me, you hear that this person has been through that fire and got burned by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a weakness. I wouldn't see that.
Okay, Mina, I don't get it, because I will say I struggle with the weakness of giving people benefit of the doubt, right? But
Oh, then
once you've crossed that line and displayed to me that you despise me, then there's no way I can believe you love my offspring when you don't like me.
I these are words from women around me, where I've realized what if ungakhulumisi mina umama walo mntwana, umntwana mumfunani. These are words
Thank
that
you.
I've
Yes,
always.
and that's valid. And it's not as a and it's being protective as a mother. Because here's the thing, ne? Kune saying ngesintu ethi impethu ingena ngenxeba, ne? So, meaning, when are you going to turn a blind eye now and say, no, but this person is not being toxic towards my child? They're nice to my child, Miss this person. You turn a blind eye. And in that moment, now you're weak. Your guard is down. And that person wants nothing but to cause you misery. What's the first place that they go to cause you misery? They've already got access to who? Your child. And there's nothing that will cause you more misery than somebody touching your child or somebody causing harm to your child. So guess what they're gonna do? They will use your child to get to you.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I think me and you are on opposites, because let me make an example of a particular, in this instance, the husband now is a doctor, is always a SHR, the wife is a stay-home mom, and this guy has some resources. So with the resources, he's been able to get the child tablets and what and what and what. And this, the mother of this husband, the son, the doctor, doesn't necessarily agree with this new modern way of living, not parenting, but modern way of living. That means your child is able to wake up at 11, make themselves a quick breakfast on their own and not include others, and leave the plate there so that, and then, I get it. But now then, it doesn't mean Uguri, just because the mother and I don't, the in-laws don't get along, my wife and don't get along, um the mother would intentionally want to go through the, I to me, it's hard to imagine a situation where I now need to, for me to get back at Umzali, I need to go through Umzali's child. I don't see, as umuntu ngimconda ngqo. It's as simple as that. Hence, for me, it's a matter of Umzali, you hit my mother, and we get to a point where I'm leaving the house, I'm taking my mother, she's going back to home, I'll go start afresh. We're now going to talk divorce, and when we get to a point of divorce, and because there's a child involved, I've got not too many words. Nzali, either you keep the child or I keep the child, and one of us is going to be labeled as a deadbeat, but we'll forever know what led to this point is this. That is me. It wouldn't be I wena ngoba vele uyangizonda, or I've never taken a conversation in that direction. Now I deal with the issue at hand. The issue at hand is this. Lokunye kwakudala kwenzekile siyandlula kuko. La kuloku, we're just going to have one meeting as adults. We're going to discuss separation of assets and what. There's no need to size siyofika court or whatever the case may be, but simply omunye ngapha impilo iyachubeka.
You believe life is black and white, ne? Like,
Mzali, my life is black and white. It cannot, there's no colors, mina, for me. There's no, Mzali, I cannot agree. Simply violence. You see, you are purple, I'm blue. You are purple, I'm blue. I am blue for a reason. And part of that reasoning is because I want to go deeper and try and understand and say, yeah, but this one was hit because this one, so that is conversation. That is just enjoying stuff. But at the end of the day, once ubeka umuntu isandla, you are no different from a pit bull. You are no different from
But okay,
a.
why can't you just still continue to be there for your child and see your child even after you and the mother have separated? If she's, because here's the thing, guys, at the end of the day, separating a child from their mother, especially when you're a medical practitioner, meaning you're not there 90% of the 80% of the time, you're not home, and 90% of the time, you're not able to be a present father for your child.
Okay.
And obviously, this child will need that present parent. And now, when you want to basically completely strip this child of its mother just to prove a point.
Mzali, ngithi mina kuwe, whether ingane izokhuliswa yimi or izokhuliswa nguwe, inkinga yami.
Yeah, so uhlulwa yini wena ukuthi ngikhulisa ingane nawe ulibele uyibona ingane without me? You can even use mediators for that, but ulobele ubaba. So clearly wena kade ufuna ukuphunyuka kule responsibility yokuba ubaba.
Hayi ukuthi kade ngifuna ukuphunyuka.
No, uyafunda, because there's no woman ozovuma ukuthi yathatha umntanami and let me never see them again, and you know it.
Let me get personal again. This person who Ancient is trying to find, there was a situation where I ended up saying, nah, I'm telling you, this is what I even said, I'm not coming back here. When I leave here, you'll never see me again. That has been the case till today. Once you pass a certain point where you are able to say things about, I never did anything to you, I'm not a perfect person. There's no need for us to get to a point where 1, 2, 3, I've got my own boundaries that I have set in empilweni. Umzali, the day you accuse me and judge and sentence me, and I've never done such things, you are clearly having a very big problem with me. And because me, I don't want to get to a point where ngiphula ibhodlela ebusweni bakho ngikwenza busy, or I know ukuthi ngiyakwata. Mzali mina, I know ukuthi ngiyakwata to a point where, you know, I've even with a pen, I almost became John Wick, where I fought through an entire path to get to a person. Yeah, one. So what I'm trying to say to you, Mzali, is knowing that I'm a person that I'm not quick to anger. No, take a while, but it gets to a point where I, as Usia, say to you, Mzali, angeke sibukane kahle mina nawe kusasa. Ngeke ngikujabulele mina. Let ingane kimi ozazikhulisela yona. It's as simple as that. Angisafuni ukuphinde ngihlangane nawe. La ngihlangana nawe, mina I'm extreme, Mzali. I'm extreme to a point.
But now you're making it about you and not even about the child itself.
It's not about me. It's about you.
It's about you. No, it's about you, because you don't want to see me. Thus, the child has to suffer and has to lose one parent. Besapil.
Hayi. Uzowazi le ngane ukuthi kwenzeka.
No, it's not about ukwazi nokungazi. This child needs both parents. Akuna knowledge that's
nazi ingane ziyakhuliswa zikhuliswa abantu. Uziyaphila azingafanga uzawukhula uzawubona.
yeah, but why do it ngamabomu?
Angenzi ngabomi kunesizathu. Isizathu sithini? Sithe umama wakho uthethe isandla wabetha umama. Manje mina bengade ngahlala phansi ngabiza abantu abadala ngabatshela ngathi la kuzokwenzeka one of two things. Either ngizozikhulisela le ngane izathi yona mase ihlanise 18 or 21 or 25 seyifuna kuza kuwo okwakhe naye ngizoyitshela ukuthi mhlazana uphuma la uya lapha kuloya muzi sewufuna mina ngihlanganyana nabo laba. Mina indaba yalaba hayi angihambelani nayo. Angifuni ukukuyenga umama wakho kimi usafana nomuntu osewashiya la emhlabeni ngebhadi angikhoni mina ukuzenzela but ngingaya lapha kuzaba nomcimbi Saturday lapha kulela khaya kuzoba nosililo esithize. So I'm saying to you mzali, I am totally against the lifting of hands. The lifting, there's no form of violence that I can ever agree to. Once we get to that point, we'll unalive each other, I promise you. That is a promise. Me, I'm telling you, it is a promise. Once one bad, bazokutshela bathi hayi usiya akashayani guys. Usiya akanankinga nomuntu asikaze simbona nenkinga. Iy'nkinga uhlezi azibalekele. Today ushaye wena. Hayi inkinga chashe ukuthi inawo. Mzali ngiyaziphuzela ngenzeni ngigibele embhedeni ngilale. Manginomuntu umuntu wami angiko lala embhedeni naye ngidakiwe ngihlala awa lapha ngaphandle ngishaywe umoya ngibhlokhe lapha ngaphandle mangithi sengisobanyana ngiyahamba ngemntwini nami. Asifike endabeni ukuthi sengikhohliwe ukuthi ngokushayile. No, that is completely wrong. I've always regretted those two instances where I actually got to a point where this has happened. So I'm against it. It would get to a situation, even your words, Msali. I mean, for me, it's not even about the slap. The fact that you said, Hambofa. Sazi ukuthi kahele ila usathana braya abantu khona. Uchaza ukuthi usathana yongobraya mi ngoshala enzansi naye ayikhona. No. There's even the words are grounds for me to never speak to you again. Just the words directed towards me are full grounds for me and you to baba imzali sale nengane ulethe ingane yami ngihambe nayo. Thatha le ndlu uthathe yonke into ulethe ingane yami. Uma ungafuni asuyise le ndlu nomuntu ashonele. Simple. Ngiyayuyisa le. Igiza yami ngihamba nayo. But into engizokutshelayo, it would get to that point. Mzali, I'm one of those people okay. Ukuthi I'd even go get an excavator and pack a few side tippers and murinyana this out flat and go dump all of these things somewhere. Need to suddenly stand. That is me.
Siyahamba for counseling. Lo ngikubabele hamba for counseling. Asoze. No.
But I'm telling you how I am as a person. Hence, I'm saying to you, this person who Ancient is trying to find. I told him, you see, me, I won't talk too much. Me, I know, Guti. I know my faults. Mara, this, I don't know. And because I don't know, I don't have answers. Let me tell you, Mchana, ngiyahamba. And mangizohamba la ngohamba sihleka sonke kumnandi. Nithi hi guys, sengiyahamba. What you be nithi ngakutshela ukuthi angibuyi.
I wish to tell you was on the panel. I had to give that man his baby. Guys, the guts. How do you freely give somebody your baby and say, yeah, take it and it's okay, I'll never see it again? Yo, guys. Sena normalizer isn't as weird nani these days.
The same way, Mzali, I said to you, I'd never be a deadbeat. Never. I'd never once was ingane yami. Yami le ngane. Lethi ingane yami kimi uzoba neyinkinga. Nangabe uthi wena waseparate ayikho indaba yakho. Okusala kwengane yami izophila nami. Phela nje sizokulwa ngengane ke. That is why I'm saying to you, for me,
Mina, I feel like there's a healthy way of co-parenting.
there's no
Without
help.
it,
No way.
there is.
There's no way.
The problem is when you want to take your own emotions and throw them in the
It's not emotions, it's standards. There's no way ukuthi uzati.
Agna standards. There's a healthy way of co-parenting. Finish and clear. There isn't. That's not standards.
What is it? what way is healthy of co-parenting where nyalo sifuna sidiscusse ama-terms okushajwa kwengane ukuthi as a stepfather kumele ngiyishaye or ngingayishayi, what are the grounds, there's no healthy way of that. There's no way. There's no way.
No, but as a stepfather uyishayela ingane yami.
Uyayibona le nto. So asiyekeni ngithembele ukuthi ingane iyashaya igojwa lisasemanzi.
No, izoshawa yimi wena uyishayelani. Uyindoda usho ubeka isandla enganeni yami. Obviously isandla sakho sibukhali ukudlula esami.
Asiyeke singaze siye ekudeni. That is why ngithi mina in my world there is no such thing as healthy co-parenting, because
yes, you can discipline my child in any other ways, take away a privilege, do what, but leo kuzumbeka isandla, you will have to answer to me to say what led you to doing that. And nakhona after I've done that, chances are very low ukuthi ngizovele ngiqole kudlule.
Bese ngisho ukuthi ngeke ngabona enye ingane igocela umamayo ibhakela baceda kuyishaya ngoba kana beyenzeni ngathi bengakakhiphanga isikafutini sesabola over the weekend, angazi wenze njani or zaba yiningi inkulungwane zeyinkinga. Hayi bamdiscipline shem. Mara mangithi ngiyibona igocela ibhakela ibuka umamayo ngenye indlela, ngiyasho ngithi yabona la 2 years from today umama lo uzothola enye into angakayilindelanga, uyothi abeka isandla bavalelise bathi mbo, uyangizwisisa. And then mina ngadecide ukuthula, yathi mase iphelile indaba ngambiza ngathi mfana wami ngikutshele namhla, angifuni ukutshela kaningi, uphinde uyenze lento ugocela umama wakhe ibhakela ngokukhipha busy mfana wami, ngokukhipha busy ushayana nami because ngiyakubona ukuthi ubona ngathi unamandla. So there's and akusingane yami leyo, but if it got to a point where
okay, but that kind of situation, you didn't actually lay hands on them, but you gave the illusion that you would, and that for me I can respect. Bale ukuthi sekuzokuthola wena nomntanami ngiyakutshela wena ufasa ibhande ngiyakutshela uzuluma nolwimi uyamgiva uyamshaya umntanami, hayi you will have to answer.
That is why ngithi mina, if the very same person that is me that is saying there are things that we probably have tried in our relationships to say, mfana wami, don't do that. If in any case you are angry, just come to me as umalumsiya sambe sodlala ibhola siyenzeni. There are other things we can do that will relax you, and we did them. Playground, whatever the case, we talk about issues. It's very young, this child, but anyway, I'm saying to you, I'm still that very same person that has tried this, but I can tell you, Guti, should it get to a point, mina vele umntwana wakho ngizombhleksela. Simple. Awukho ukhona. Angeke akukhohle lento ngizomenza yona. Ngoyenza kanye ngeke ngimcocele. Chayi. Uyangithola. So with that very same thing ukuthi I don't see grounds for co-parenting. Co-parenting doesn't work. It just doesn't work. That is why I stand up and I say akumane kube ne-deadbeat somewhere, ukuthi angizophikisana nenye umntwana omunye indoda or nje akube ne-deadbeat somewhere.
Hey, no, you weird and they will take you weird. I will never see reason. Let me just admit that. I won't see your perspective, and we are okay to agree to disagree as we usually do.
Yeah, but I'm one person that seems having, I'm in schools most of the time. You can see it's tough. Fonela mama wakho, fonela ubaba wakho akubhedane. Ubaba ngasabhadeli. Se omunye lo longashayi omunye ufuna yena akhiphe imali. There's you know, it's heartbreaking to see the efforts of a good thing like co-parenting not work. It's just that for me, there are those who are making it work, where these two gentlemen will go to baptism and take pictures, and the two will hold hands inside the two, and the child will be in the between. All I'm saying to is there are those who are doing it. for me as Usia, completely unnecessary to co-parent with anyone. Ngicela ingane yami ize kimi hang. Ma ingane yami iza nomama wakhe, it's fine. Bring, come. I have no problem because it is okay. Bara eyami ingane mzali, eyami ngizazikhulisela ngoba ngabe
I feel like you underestimate the bond between a mother and a child.
but you cannot use that as grounds for hitting my mom. You cannot use that as grounds
No,
for
I wasn't hitting your mother as a parent. I was hitting your mother based on the arguments you were having.
kuyanami ukushaya. Mara ngengixole ngoba ngifuna ukubulala. Ngeke yenzeke lento. Ah vele
Hey,
there's no
ungangixoleli, no one is saying ngixolele for ukushaya uma wakho. But leyo kufuna ukuphuca ingane uma wayo, that is evil.
ngizoyiphuca ubabayo ke. Mawumama yangavu ngizoyiphuca ubabayo. Bye bye. Usale kahle.
Leyo kuphuca ingane
Ibhlungu.
umzali wayo nje is weird. Either parent intentionally.
Ibhlungu kimi. Ibhlungu kimi. Yazi I
Which is why I'm
there's
saying now it's about you. It's not even about the child itself. It's about you.
ibhlungu phela le is about me for 2 seconds when I discuss it with you now ukuthi izoba buhlungu kimi ukushiya ingane ngoba ngeke ngilale kahle angeke ngiphathe kahle but at the end of the day into emeli yenzeka ukuthi amelanga ngihlangane nalo muntu lo oshaya umama ngizombulala ngoba mina already sengidilize indle yakhe mina chief I promise you ngeza ne-excavator I promise you ne-side tipper le yakasesami loyo fike ngithi ngicela uyibeke la nemibhini le ezombili ngilode irebule leya yonke into ngiyifake la ngishiya isitandi singangisho singana ne-foundation ngihambise ngolahla lekudeni.
Mara, there's no need for such extreme measures. The thing is, when you want to take it to the extreme worst, you want to take it to hell.
You said I must go to hell, Mus.
Okay, ngbophise ke. Rather than ngbophise ke, then there's a valid reason why my child doesn't have one parent.
It was a valid reason. It's a reason
Okay,
enough.
fine. Ngiyamthatha umntana maqeda lapha wena ngikubophisa for maintenance, finish and clear.
And I have always said, even the first time I said this, I'll go serve my sentence and come back. Then life goes on.
No, but you will be forced to pay maintenance though.
Ngibuyisele nje.
Le ndoda.
Umzali mina futhi yazi ngalendlela ngingayo ne. Yo like once
Wait,
they
abantu bayabashwa when they don't meet the terms of
yes.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
I had no idea.
There's a man here who's a multimillionaire who was arrested and released, I think, 2 months back. Even was on national news, and he said, "I'm still not going to pay." Yeah, man. He was like, "Oh, well, I will not."
And
out
how
for
long
it."
was the sentence?
5 years. He served 5 years in prison. 5 years, and he came back.
Oh, okay.
People do get arrested for that, and they come back, and life goes on. So it's just as usual. And he said, life will just go on. And should they come and arrest me, I'll go back. But one thing I'm not going to do is give that woman a cent. That's what he said.
Yeah, I ain't man long ngikubophisa ke hayi suka. Don't be being spiteful. You deserve to be lapho.
Anisho. Solo sifuna this thing cannot be undone. Ukuthi wena ushaye umuntu. Yazi singakwenza konke. Honestly speaking, ingane kumele shaywe man mzali. Kuthi sishawa ubani mina futhi angisana ndaba. Ungayishaya yami ingane ungayishayeli into efile ukuthi ngathi net wena bokhalela ukuyishaya. Ingane yami mayionile. Nangabe iyazi ukuthi ihambe nabanye abangani. Mzali, I used to get beaten with my neighbors. There were 3 of us. Basishaya ukuthi sikhuphuka intaba saya ngale sisiyofuna amagwaba nani yabe bashaya to a point where I stopped going, right? And they would go, and if any of our parents would see that, report it. We knew that we were going to get beaten. We would get beaten for playing soccer near windows and breaking windows. We'd get beaten. And we broke a lot of windows, throwing rocks, and we would get beaten. Bekunogogo obekadabula amabhola ethu angangena ejardini lakhe kungana wall kunganani ngangena lo gogo ahleli lapha bekathatha lokwemukhwa athathe le bhola athi clap sihambe siyothenga enye ibhola sidlala ibhola, right? Those things that was not abuse, it's just like that. Mina eyami ingane nangabe ukuthi beyisemoli ibhema insango kuphi kuphi wayibona ishaya, ungezi kimi uzongitshela ukuthi ingane yakho ngiyibone ibhema, kwakumele uyidiscipline there and then. Ungezi kimi ishaye khona lapho, ithi mayifika izoceba futhi ingahle ingangitsheli ukuthi ikhatshiwe. Engizozwa ngokuthi kuthiwe ingane yakho sibone bayishaya. Ishaywe ubani? Mfana wami, bakushayeleni? Hhayi, bangithole ngiphuza. Buya la. Uphuzani? Thathu, nami ngiyakunika.
Yini Rumza?
Angazi uyangizwisisa.
Yeah, ngiyakuzwisisa. Excuse, my attention is split in half manje.
Ingane yakho mina ngingayithola lapha e-tavern or lapha kulama clubs lawo le club engiyimanager le. Ngiyitholi lapha ngazi kahle ukuthi le ngane le yingane. I promise you.
Yeah, no, back in the day, the Enyobeni Tavern situation would have never happened successfully.
No. Hence I say to the bouncers there, and I've invited, we've invited Usain. I know ukuthi Usain Buji comes with ingane ezincane, and I told these guys and I said, as you are going to be bouncers, and I'm paying you this much, now I will not pay you if I find a child under the age of 18 here, especially in instigating. I'm a joke to my friends, Mzali, because I once requested this girl to show me her ID before we do the prenyakos, the smacks. So what had happened was, it was during lockdown, sihleli siyayiphuzela omunye uyabhedea ufika ney'ngane eziningi ezihle shashasha. Yo, makafika lapha siyahlala siyacoca. Manje ufika kimi uthi, hey chief, la uyazibona umuntu nomuntu la amele afase ukuthi mina nami ngizokhona kuhamba kahle ngoba ngabe kungasinjalo fune kwenzeke amaplani anjani. Ngathi mina kuye, chief, I don't play like that. What I am going to do is, it's fine, I'll take one, but I'm not going to smash this person because lezi ngathi yingane. Then I said to this person, I'll play wingman for you, but I'm not going to smash. All right, sharp. We got to my place with this person. We chilled, finished off drinks. I went to bed. Night, she took my side. I slept. She went inside. She slept. Esa, nothing is ngomuntu ngibamba bambili wenza wenye uyingane wena. Athi mina ngozidlalela somewhere else because ngathi awukwazi ukuzibamba. Wathi kimi angiseyingane. Ngathi unangaki? Wathi ngina 21. Ngathi keep your ID. After she showed me her ID, but mean, even that day, till today, the gents know that happens and that is my standard. I will not do that with ingane, but I believe ukuthi mawuzobona ingane wrong, ingane mele ishaywe, uyishayeke lento eyenzayo. Up until they are probably 18, 21, then you can look at life differently. But now I know my dad here found out my elder brother was at a place of drinking and was buying people drinks, and I don't know if he realized that he bought his friends alcohol, my dad's friends alcohol. They told him ukuthi ingane yakho beyisiphethe kahle endaweni, so he was called. He drove all the way from where he was, which is over 100 kilometers away, and he came here. The first thing he got a few punches, as old as he was, in his 30s. What I'm trying to say to you is, I've got rules and standards. As Shayana, once you're Shayana, it's something totally different. So I'd get to a point, Mzali, I stand where I stand by saying, I'd rather become a deadbeat because ushaye umamami ongizalayo. Kufana nokuthi
But yeah, excuse man, I need to run. Urumza wami udinga attention yami manje la.
ya ungakhohlwa ukumcheck every 5 minutes yeah.
Yeah, no, ngizochecka in ngizobuya, but I just want to quickly nginike urumza attention like a speed. Uphaphe momo girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Namathi ngihambe ngojola ngingafani. Yani uba no-single manje, okay?
Nami ngisingile. Okay.
Hey. Ibhizi le yakhona inemraro. But anyway,
But
angifuni
I'm
ukuba
not
a-single.
complaining. But I need this put out there. You're single but extremely unavailable. Yes.
Wena futhi ku-worse wena because unengane entsha. At least nyana 5 years vele uzama ukuthi
18. Akujolwa manje. 18 years kuvaliwe.
uyabona nawe uba extreme but at least 5 years man.
No. Imagine introduce umntana emntwini ana 5 years sekabona bona sekahlakaniphile. No ways.
Izwa sesi wakho uthi uthole enye indoda.
Uba loyo.
Okay.
Anyway, ithi ngizonibona guys, ngizonibona ne.
Alright. Ancient. Ancient is yams. Ancient.